Is there anyone who's present and your name was not called or you came in late? Yes, what's your name?
Lawrence.
I'm sorry, what?
Vincent Lawrence.
Vincent Lawrence. Do you know who your attorney is?
Cool. But I'm here voluntarily.
All right, just give us a moment and we're going to try to get your attorney to come in as well. I'm sorry, what? Oh, no, there'll be no feather ruffling in here. Everybody here is a professional. Nobody takes anything as a personal attack. Well, maybe they will if it's personal, but usually these are business transactions, so it'll be just fine.
I called the number 27, 25, 37. Then you put on it.
All right.
That's all.
All right, so here's the thing. When clients come in, I like for their attorney to be here because sometimes clients want to say things to me that maybe their attorneys don't want them to say to me. So what I can tell you, if you're here to speak to me about the facts of your case, are you on probation? All right, so we're going to find out if you're here on probation. If you're here on probation and it's not about a motion to revoke, then it would be in your best interest, to speak with me. But if it's about something that is the facts of your case. All right. All right. Is this for you to attend a job interview? Okay. Your attorney filed that motion. Just give me a moment. I'm going to take care of that. Okay. See, sometimes your attorneys are moving in the background and people don't know what's happening. Just because they don't talk to you every day doesn't mean that they're not handling things. Now, sometimes I would have to tell my clients, hey, do you want me to talk to you every day or you want me to work on your case? All right, so just have a seat. I'll get with you, okay? All right. All right, everyone, here are the rules of the court. If you have somebody who's in custody, they need to be brought out, requested from the deputy. Once you requested your client from the deputy, please do not leave because there's a limited number of deputies and for security reasons, they can only have so many inmates in the box. If your client wishes to speak to the court in a language other than English, yes, we need an interpreter. Please don't come before me and say, oh, it's just a reset. No, we need an interpreter. And you really don't know if it's just a reset unless I say it's a reset. The other thing, the coordinator cannot excuse you. Your case is not over till it's over. If you are planning to leave to go to another court, let's approach the coordinator and I'll let you know what time you need to be back here because we are taking our lunch break at noon. We're not taking it at 12:01, 12:02. It's going to be at noon. So do not rush the court at 11:55 and think that things are going to happen. The other thing, court reporters to my left. If you have an inmate who is in the box, please do not talk behind the court reporter when we're on the record. All you need to do is raise your hand and the deputy will move you and your client down to the other end. And when we're on the record, please whisper. Whisper as though you are a spy. And if you get caught, there will be deadly consequences for you and your client. So please whisper so that the court reporter can hear and so I can hear what's going on. When we're on the record, please do not approach the court coordinator or the clerks because I'm trying to focus 100% on what's happening in front of me. And I know when your client is in front of me, you want me to listen 100% to your arguments. All right. Prosecutors here are with Criminal Trial Division. Over here is Family Violence. Just pull your file, place it. They're going to call you in the order of appearance. Please do not crowd people. People are catching COVID again, and I don't think anybody wants to get COVID. So let's not do that. Do not approach the court unless you've conferred with your client and conferred with the state. It's Monday. It's going to be a great Monday if we treat each other with respect and kindness. I know we all thought we would be retired. We need to realize we're not. So this is where we are. So it's going to be a great Monday. So everyone, please confer. And then Mr. Vincent Lawrence, let me see. State, do y'all know if this is Family Violence or Criminal Trial Division? It's CM 118569.
I can do.
All right, thank you.
118569
Yes.
in CTD.
All right, CTD. He wants to attend a job conference. Do y'all have any objections or do we need to go on the record? It's CM 118569. And he has documentation of the job interview. And Mr. Lawrence, are you under pretrial services?
Yes.
All right. Do you know who your pretrial officer is? All right. John Kuntz entitled the motion motion to allow him to attend a job interview. I'm assuming you all have no objections?
Your Honor, but
Yes.
the only possible objection that I can see
Mhm.
is that we would want some sort of assurance that the location where Mr. Lawrence would like to attend this job interview
All right.
is
So,
not a location connected to the complaint.
all right.
That
It's-
As long as we have that, we would have no objections.
Do you know what street is associated with the complainant? Do you know the street?
Do not know that, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lawrence, can you come forward? And Norman, can you look up and see, just come up. Can you look up and see who his pretrial officer is, please? Hello.
Hi.
Hi. All right, so I see the documentation for your job interview. So this is what you need to remember. One, the address that's on here, that's where you're allowed to go. If you end up, and I know people say, that's so complicated, but you're not allowed to go anywhere else but to that job interview. You understand? So if you stop at HEB along the way or McDonald's along the way, I know people say, what's the big deal? What's going to end up happening is they're going to send me a violation report and we'll have to hear that. Okay.
You won't get.
All right. Well, they're giving you an interview. My mom always told us, if you get the interview, you have the job. So good luck. And if you'll remain, what I'm going to do is have them make a copy of this order for you so you'll have it.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And I will. All right. And I'll email. All right. So here's the other thing. There's a violation report I have for you
For what?
for your violation of bond or protective order.
Yeah, I bailed out.
All right. So have a seat. We're going to wait for your attorney to show up.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
All right. This has already been addressed.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm on top.
All right. You're good then. That's okay.
Can you let Amanda know too? You'll let Amanda, she's gonna be out of the office.
Yeah, no, she emailed her.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Attend this.
All right, Mr. Lawrence, you're not allowed to have contact with the complainant. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Aside from that, that's all. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. So Vashawn.
She's on her way.
All right. Thank you. Vashawn. So I have an email. And you know, we just took the cybersecurity thing. You're not supposed to open everything, which I don't. I just forward it to IT and say, is this legitimate? So here's my question for you. When somebody sends you an email and then they say in all caps, this is a friendly reminder, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, and it's highlighted in all yellow saying, complete this survey. Is that a friendly reminder?
No, that's not friendly at all.
I'm like,
No, I'm still not gonna complete the survey.
well, you know what? You do these surveys. You know, like I did a survey saying it's always too hot in this court, but they're like, see you next year for budget. Like, okay. Oh, we've been waiting for light bulbs since over a year.
Got some at the house, want to bring them?
Oh, no, here's the thing about that. They don't allow you to do that. Do you know it took 6 months to hang a portrait? And I said, you know what? I'm just going to bring some nails and my hammer from home. And you know what they said? You're not allowed to do that. So we're on the list for light bulbs. They say they can't find any.
Good luck with that.
Make sure it's always an empty chair.
But you know what we could do? We could have a contest to see when light bulbs will come in.
Squares.
All right, so Michael, we must talk about the elephant that's in the room.
Okay.
Saints. I was shocked. And then we have the Cowboys.
All right. Okay.
LSU is winning, and I guess it's better to be lucky. You know, I still don't know what's up with our defense.
Here's the deal. The Cowboys learned to play with heart yesterday. That's the important thing.
Yes.
Yes. So. they've
What's the
got
name
it-
of that movie with the baseball where they sing the music, you gotta have heart?
No, it's.
I don't know.
Second chair.
Andrew would know.
I remember the Replacements where Gene Hackman told
No, no, no.
Keanu he had to play with heart.
No, it's a, I remember watching the movie and it was black and white and it was about this guy who was past his prime.
Uh-huh.
And so he ended up disappearing. His wife was like, where he went. He made a deal to be young. I think he was playing with the Yankees or something. And then he ended up coming back to live in our house as a boarder.
Okay.
But they sang that song, You Gotta Have Heart. And I'm trying to figure out, it's gonna come to me. When it comes to me at 2 a.m., I'll call you.
You let me know.
I will.
Awesome, Judge. Thank you.
All right, Chaz Reed. State, on this case, did you have a chance to review the PSI report?
At the pre-trial service report, yes, Judge, but we're opposed to the PR bond.
Okay, all right, we'll go on the record. Court is calling 2024 CR 007568, State of Texas versus Chaz Reed. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Raymond Saldana?
Defense,
Thomas Beck for Mr. Reed.
and are you Mr. Reed?
Yes.
All right, so defense had requested a PR bond, so the court had a PR bond interview scheduled. That PR bond interview has been completed. Defense, did you get a chance to review the PR bond report?
I did, Judge.
State, did you have a chance to review the PR bond report? All right, does anyone have any witnesses? Defense?
No.
State?
No, Judge.
All right, so defense, it was your request for a PR bond hearing. The court will hear argument from you, and then I'll hear argument from the state.
Judge, he scored a moderate level. I want to point out, he had probation once before and he made his probation. He's had the same job for like 16 years and his job's waiting for him. I just think it's appropriate for a PR bond, and it's set at 5,000 is my understanding.
All right, state?
Judge, we would oppose the PR bond. We believe that his criminal history, he is a danger to the community. He has been convicted of a sex assault felony. He also has been convicted of a violation of sex offender in the past. This is his second one. It's prior conviction. It is a second-degree felony. I think 5,000 is the bare bone minimum that we can recommend in this particular kind of offense. I just don't believe a PR bond is appropriate at this time.
All right. Defense, it's your motion, so I'll give you final argument.
Judge, we're set on the 26th, so, give him a chance to prove himself. He'll be right back here Thursday.
All right. So what the court is seeing about the criminal history, and of course, Mr. Reed, criminal history is not the only thing that is considered. I do have to see about protecting the community. What I do see is that you do have a previous violation, but you were placed on probation and you completed that. And then the other violation was rejected for further investigation. And I'm assuming nothing happened with that because it would have been on here that it was refiled. And that was from 2010. And the previous violation that you received probation for was 2012. And I see here that he has some mental health issues. Is that correct?
He seems fine to me, Judge. I saw that on the report.
My understanding that pretrial services judge, as the court knows, was recommending supervision by the special needs unit. So, yes.
All right. So then I'll need to hear, well, here's your issue, counsel. all of the references that he's listed, there has been no response. For example, who is he going to be?
I just got all the new numbers. I didn't know that some of them changed.
Okay, so this what needs to happen then. I need to know where he would be living. I have no idea now because the references that are listed in the PR bond report, it shows that there have been no answers and no message, unable to leave messages. So that's what I would need because there needs to be a place for him to stay. If you want to reset this council and maybe have those numbers that he says he has, and they can appear by Zoom if there's no objection from the state, and contact them and have them appear by Zoom. But I can't have someone who's charged with violation of offender registration. And sir, I don't take any of this as true because I don't have any facts before me. I just have to deal with what it states the charge is, but I can't release you. And I don't have any information of where you would be staying because all of the reference contact you listed, none of them were able to be contacted.
I didn't know my mother had changed her number. She just changed it, her and my sister.
Well, I will tell you what, if
We're
council,
set Thursday. Case very well may settle Thursday.
all right, so if y'all want to come back Thursday, or if you would like to see if you can have his family Zoom in, you can.
If it doesn't settle Thursday, we're gonna be getting that information to you.
All right, I'll see you all back on Thursday.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, John Martinez. Hello, so what's happening?
I'm filling in for Leo Gonzalez. Just wait for a second. I'm filling in for Leo Gonzalez. He's in trial in Comal today.
What is he trying?
I'm not sure what they're trying, but he told me they just got a verdict on it, so
Oh.
he should. So I didn't know if the court would allow this case to be reset for later this week so that Leo can come in and handle this with the client.
All right, are you employed?
Yeah.
What is your work schedule?
It varies. I do solar, so
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, if you recall this in 2 weeks, please. Oh, no. Does anybody know the date? See, y'all, it's not August 7th. All right, Mr. Martinez.
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
No problem. All right, so what's going to end up happening is you're going to come back on October 7th.
All
right. And so once you sign the reset form, you'll be excused. All right, so just have a seat and they'll get you a reset form. Bradley Galvan. Hello.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. All right. So where are we on discovery?
So I believe in discovery, I think we received everything. I have filed a motion to suppress and along with that, a brief in support of. Last time we were here, I discussed how there was possibly a court of criminal appeals that was going to come down in regards to geofence warrants.
Mhm.
During that time, Fifth Circuit actually made a ruling in regards to geofence warrants, and there's an issue in regards to whether geofence warrants are valid warrants.
All right, so if you all want to state, when do you want to set this for a motion to suppress?
Judge, we could just have a month. I think the Beth was asking possibly about just a written response.
All right. All right, so here's my other question. Has an offer been tendered?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. They just tendered it in.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a reset for 1 month, please? All right, we're going to come back on October 24th. That's going to be your plea deadline date, and also that will be the date we'll hear your motion to suppress.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Julio Smith? Mr. Smith, come down. Hello.
Your Honor.
Hi. So where are we on discovery?
We received discovery over the weekend and it is voluminous. And so we have started making our way through it. But none of it has been shown to Mr. Smith yet. We
Okay.
filed on Friday and his prior lawyer had never gone over any of the discovery with him. So we still need to do all of that.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. On this case, if I can have a 30-day reset, this will be the final setting for discovery. All right, so we'll come back on October 24th. And in this case, are there any videos or something of that nature?
Yes, Judge.
All right. So if you all want to schedule a time, if there's an issue with him viewing videos at the jail, just let us know. All right. Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, do you have any questions about the process?
Come in.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Judge.
Hello.
So I'm ready on Pattillo,
Mhm.
but his sister was gonna give some brief testimony on Zoom. So she just needs a little bit of time for me to tell her, hey, go ahead and get on.
Okay, sure.
Can I go ahead and just, okay, okay.
All right. Are you all ready on Pattillo?
Yes, Judge, we are.
All right. We're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2020 CR 2020 CR 9880, 9881, 9882, 9883, 9884, 9885, 9886, 9888, 9889, 9890, 9891, 9892. State of Texas versus Joshua Pattillo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense.
Kathy Compton for Mr. Pattillo.
All right, if you'll come down, please, sir. And are you Mr. Patel? All right, you entered a plea in several of the cause numbers. And you entered a plea of no contest, and you entered a plea of true to the enhancements. And each of the cause numbers that you pled to, the judge found that there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the judge found the enhancement true. According to the plea bargain agreements in each cause number, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 20 years. The cases were run concurrently. There are no applications, and the state is taking in consideration the following cause numbers.
2020 CR 9887, 9889, 9890, 9891, 9892, JM numbers 1981762, 1984925.
And there's to be restitution, if any, to the complainants and no contact with the complainants. Did everyone have a chance to review the PSI report, state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No objection, although I would like the court to note that there was an
Just 1 second, I'm sorry. Everyone, y'all need to whisper like you are spies, and if you are heard, there will be deadly consequences for you and your client. All right, you may continue.
I did note in the PSI, Your Honor, that while my client did disclose during the interview with the officer that he had been previously designated as ABT,
Yes.
Aryan Brotherhood, that they also said that he was showing up in Tex Gang as Mexican Mafia. I believe what the confusion is that his father actually, I believe, at some point was designated Mexican Mafia, but my client never has.
All right, and what is his father's name?
Dad's name, Charles Mike, Pattillo.
All right.
So it just seemed very odd that he was designated as two things that you normally would not see.
Yes.
As being I don't think those are co-gang memberships.
I
Neither side
wondered
of it.
about that.
Yeah, I don't think those are two flavors that mix in the TDC system. So that, other than that, Your Honor, I didn't have any objection, and I don't have any objection to the PSI.
All right, and the court received a supplemental report. I have not reviewed the supplemental report because I wanted to make sure that both parties had received the supplemental.
I have not seen
Yeah,
a supplemental.
All right. It appears to just be one page. As I said, I haven't read it. It was just in the file that was submitted to me with the PSI report. And it's, if you all can review that, and if you have any objections to the court reviewing that, let me know. Any objections to the court reviewing the supplemental report for the PSI?
No, Your Honor.
All right, just give me a moment. All right. State, do you have any witnesses?
No.
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe just by agreement, the state has agreed to allow Sarah Pattillo to appear via Zoom, and I do see that she is on, so I would like to call her.
And Mr. Pattillo, can you raise your right hand for me, please?
Can't, because I'm chained up.
That's okay. Well, let me ask you this. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can you state your name for the record?
Joshua David Pattillo.
All right, do you understand you have a right to have witnesses appear in person? You need to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any objections to Sarah Pattillo appearing by Zoom?
No, ma'am.
And state, do you have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
In defense, do you have any objections?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Pattillo, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly
Yes,
swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. Just make sure you keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear. If you speak your name for the record.
Sarah Pattillo.
All right, defense.
Thank you. Sarah, can you let the judge know, how was it when, Joshua was living with you previously? And, what did you do about the situation when he wasn't doing what he needed to do?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Well, when Joshua was living with me and my mother, we did go through a time when I felt that he could have been doing better. And so I did contact his parole officer at the time to just let him know that we wanted to make sure that Joshua was doing what he was supposed to, because his success is very important to our family and seeing him succeed. And so
Well, let me stop you and ask you this. If Joshua were able to parole, are you willing to have him parole to your home?
yes, ma'am.
And if he were to parole, would you have any issue contacting his parole officer again if he was not doing what he needed to do to be successful on parole?
No. Absolutely not.
So are these conversations that you've had with him as far as what your expectations would be if he were to have another opportunity to come and live with you?
Yes, ma'am. My brother knows that if he did have the opportunity to come and live with me, that he would definitely have to abide by all the rules and stated for whatever he's been given.
And let me ask you, who lives with you in your home now?
My 6-year-old daughter, Amaya Joy Pattillo.
And your mother has passed away during the time that your brother's been in custody, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. She passed May 14th, 2023.
And how do you believe that affected your brother as far as his outlook on his future?
I believe that it has affected Joshua greatly. My mother was very close to both of us. But I think it also has given him an outlook to look forward to the future and making better choices. And just living the life that he knows God's calling him to.
And have you seen, you are aware of Joshua's medical diagnoses, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have dealt with his mental health challenges over the years, is that correct as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you see a difference in him that is significant or not since he's been regulated on his medications here?
I do. I have seen a
What
change.
differences do you see?
I have seen less aggression, and I've seen Joshua progress in his ability to, I think, just handle, this whole situation better than maybe he could before.
And you know that the judge has up to a number of 20 years to sentence Joshua for the cases that we're here on. Why is it that you believe the judge should consider something lower end of that range rather than the 20 years?
I would have to say that my prayer for my brother is that wherever he would be safest and in his sound mind and able to live and function in the way that he was created to would be what I would hope for him. And mercy, sometimes isn't deserved, but is given. And I just believe that whatever's best for Joshua will happen.
And are you aware generally that he was arrested for some pretty serious charges and that affected other people that were just minding their own business, trying to work honest jobs? You're not trying to minimize that to the court, are you? You understand how serious what he did was, don't you?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
And do you believe that his ability to be an advocate for himself with regard to his own medications and to be compliant with those medications, is there anything different that you see in him over the last couple of years versus when you were dealing with him in your home before?
Yes, ma'am. Joshua has verbalized to me that he has been functioning better on his medication, and I believe he himself has seen the positive change in himself, and I would hope that he would want to continue that.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
All right, State?
No, say.
And I believe that my client would like to.
All right, I have one question if there are no objections.
Certainly.
All right, so Ms. Pattillo, thank you so much for coming. I noticed that in the PSI report that he had a difficult childhood. You had a difficult childhood as well. Why do you think that you turned out different as opposed to your brother?
Thank you, Your Honor. Honestly, I too have struggled in many ways, just like my brother. And I gave my life to Christ Jesus and committed my life to him. And since doing that, I have been able to make choices to be a mother and a successful citizen. And I just made a choice, Your Honor, that I didn't want to live that way anymore. and I chose to move away from Houston, where we used to live, and am in full-time ministry. And I believe that changing environments, changing the people that I choose to hang around with, finding like-minded people who want to live successful lives, is vital to succeed, especially when you've walked through those arenas of life. And I really can just say that my choice to follow Christ has been the ultimate path to my success.
All right, thank you so much. Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, any other witnesses?
Just my client, Your Honor.
All right, you've already been placed under oath. You're still under oath. You may proceed.
So Judge, you heard what your sister said, that the biggest difference for her was changing her life in a profoundly significant way.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell the judge how you believe that you've also had a real change in the way that you view yourself and the way that you view what you would want for your future.
Your Honor, I have also dedicated my life to Christ. I've been taking my medicine ever since you had got it court ordered. I'm learning how to deal with certain situations instead of being aggressive and like doing the things that are wrong. Ma'am, I have also followed my sister's steps, and I look forward to doing ministry with her. It's been a hard road for me, losing my mom last year, but I'm thankful. I'm at the mercy of the courts, ma'am. I'm asking for grace.
No.
I love my sister.
Do you also have a child, Joshua?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is her name?
Chelsea Janelle Pattillo, but she was recently married, and I don't know her married. I do know it, I just can't pronounce it.
And how old is she?
She's 25.
And do you have contact with her as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you feel about the kind of father that you've been to her?
I haven't been the greatest father to her, but I have made it a vow to God to be a better grandfather when I have grandkids by my daughter. I also love my sister's children. I pray for them every day, every night. I'm a praying man now. I'm not the man that these papers say. I can't say anything but, take responsibility as a man and take responsibility for what's going on. I believe the solution is the same thing my sister has said to you as walking in ministry. My life is no longer the same, ma'am. I'm thankful and I'm grateful for having a sister like that. And I know my mom would have wanted us to stick together like this and go into ministry. That was my mom's biggest prayer. I believe I'm still alive because of my sister and my mother's prayers and my daughter. I chose a wrong road, and it led me right back to this type of setting. But I ask for forgiveness to the Lord for everything that I did wrong, and I'm at the mercy of the courts, ma'am. And Your Honor, I appreciate your time and consideration on my cases and everything.
That's all I have, Judge.
Any questions?
Sir, you understand that your actions affected a lot of people,
Yes, sir.
and you understand that a lot of them now have the same mental health issues that you went through affected them.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk more about that? What do you think about that?
I've also prayed for the victims in my cases. I don't really know their names or anything, but I have prayed and I've asked God to forgive me for all those. And I do pray for them as individuals that they will receive, grace from God and peace. Ultimately the peace, and to restore peace back to them. And I pray for that on a daily basis, sir. And I do feel very remorseful of these situations. I was not on my medications. I was using drugs. And ultimately, I think the drugs, I don't know what happened at different times. But I'm taking responsibility, like you asked me. I'm taking responsibility for praying for those individuals, and ultimately that they forgive me in their journey and walk with God.
But you would understand if they weren't able to forgive you.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, anything else?
Just some brief argument.
All right, I have a question. So I always review the PSI report. And did your client have a chance to review the supplemental?
No, and he has trouble reading sometimes too, Judge, but we have discussed that there were multiple victims in the cases and that there were lots of people that suffered because of the choices that we made. We have had those discussions
All right.
previous to today.
So on page 25 of the PSI report, sir, it states, when asked how he feels about the plea agreement and his upcoming sentencing or punishment, he stated, I feel that 20 years is a little high. Like I said, no one was hurt. So do you want to address that?
I really can't say on the time because I don't have a right to say that. But I on everything, no one did get hurt, and I've never intentionally wanted to hurt anybody. It was a pandemic. I was trying to take care of Mary Elizabeth Thigpen, and I don't know exactly what I did, but I know I didn't hurt nobody. But like I said, I'm at the mercy of the courts, and I'm not I have no right to say how much time.
Well, you do know. See, when you say that no one's been hurt,
Yeah.
sometimes people think, did somebody get shot? Did somebody get stabbed? But there are different types of hurt. Because in the supplemental report, this complainant said they now suffer from PTSD. They stated that they worked at the Walgreens for over 25 years and they love their job. And they are no longer able to do that partially because of your actions. So that's pain, right? That's hurt. Counsel, do you have any concerns on whether or not your client is currently competent?
No, I do believe that he is competent. He's been able to assist me since his medications were ordered by the court and he's been taking them.
Okay. All right, then the court will hear argument. State.
Judge, I think that 20 years is more than fair to the defendant. There have been at least 7 or 8 aggravated robberies that he's playing on, with several that are being taken into consideration here today. There are many victims of his crimes. There are people that are going to live with those scars for years. So the state thinks that it's more than fair that he's not there 20 years.
All right, defense.
Judge, I know that this is one of those cases where the easy call would just be to say 20 years, we're done. However, I am going to ask the court to do what sometimes judges are here to do, and that is to recognize that there is a balance to be struck between a person's actions, the consequences of their actions, and what I believe that Joshua and his sister, more eloquently than I certainly could ask, are asking the court to consider allowing him, and more importantly, his family, grace. And I know that you are well aware of all of the shortcomings of the judicial system, the lack of serious mental health intervention. Sometimes when, I really believe that we have so many situations like this where it's too little too late was done, and here we are. I do believe, and I hope that you can see, I certainly do, in his sister, and in Joshua, because I've been dealing with him for a long time.
Mhm.
And he is a very different person today than the person that I first met.
Since 2020.
Yes, and it's a significant change. I do believe that if he were given an opportunity, and he understands he's got to take responsibility, and he does understand that he is going to prison. But I do believe that there is something to be said for recognizing not just the people he hurt, but the people that hurt him, the people who failed him, and the people who brought him to this place, in addition to his own choices. And so I think that that's where that grace and mercy come in. And it's not anything that anybody ever deserves. It is something that is shared with all of us by the creator or higher powers that we, however we choose to see that. And once in a while, it gets spread around when we least expect it. And I think that that kind of mercy and grace can do a lot more good for a lot more people, not just this man standing here before you, but a lot more people than just throwing him back in there for 20 years and crossing our fingers that that's going to fix him, because you and I know it won't. So I'm asking you to give him less than 20. I'm not going to ask you to give a certain number because I trust you to know. But I do believe that this is a situation where some recognition for the changes that he's made and for the sincerity with which he's come and addressed his behavior deserves some grace and mercy, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I want you to know that I've listened to the argument of your counsel, listened to the testimony of your sister. I always go through and reread the plea paperwork. I always read the PSI report with a fine tooth comb. And what I want to tell you is I understand that people have mental health issues. I understand that many times there's a lack of services for people who have mental health issues. And nobody keeps track of people with mental health issues. And I know that the reason why this case is old is because one, it's during COVID time. Two, you've been to the state hospital because previously you were declared incompetent, and it took a while for you to regain competency. But this is part of my job, is to make sure that the community is protected, right? So I have to balance things. I've been a defense attorney, I've been a prosecutor, and I tell you that to let you know I truly do see both sides, right? I've represented people who have had the charges that you've had, made the argument that your counsel has made, and your counsel has done a very good job for you. But in looking at your history, you've been to prison before for aggravated robbery. And I know from my experience in being a defense attorney that when you're on parole, and this is no knock on parole, but parole sometimes is easier than being on probation. But I do know when you're on parole, they do address any mental health issues you have. They give you case managers. Your sister testified that she called, your parole officer saying, I don't think his medications are correct. So the aggravated robbery that you were paroled on tells me that you knew how to obtain services, right? And sometimes when people are in the throes of a mental health crisis, everything goes out the window as far as where do I go? But then by the same token, you stated, the reason why I committed these aggravated robberies was because I was trying to help the co-defendant. And that's just not the way to go about things. And I understand that anytime that people spend in prison, anytime that people spend in the Bexar County Jail, even if it's 1 day, 1 hour, that's a lot of time. But in these cases, the court is going to sentence you to the 20 years in each of the cases. you'll receive credit for any time served. That means that you'll receive the credit for the time you spent in the state hospital. That legally counts as time as well. So, and the cause number 2020 CR 9880. The court will follow your agreement. The court will sentence you to 20 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, credit for any time served in inpatient treatment, which is the state hospital. And legally, you're entitled to all of that credit. Counsel, if there's an issue with the credit and you feel it's not the right number, just let the court know and we'll make sure it's corrected.
I will, Your Honor. Thank you.
The court will run this concurrent with
2020 CR 9886, 9885, 9884, 9883, 9882, 9881, 9888.
court will take in consideration
2020 CR 9887, 9889, 9890, 9891, 9892, JN numbers 1981762, 1984925.
and there's to be no contact with the complainant. And the court will note for the record in reviewing the PSI report, no complainant stated or provided any restitution.
Yes, Judge.
All right, and there's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. And I'll ask that he be placed in the mental health unit in the therapeutic community. I have no jurisdiction to force them to place you in that, but you're gonna have to ask for it, and they'll see that in the court's order that I'm requesting that for you.
Yes, ma'am.
And the cause number ended in 9881. There's an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. The court will sentence you to 20 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, plus credit for any time served at state hospital. I'm going to request the therapeutic community mental health unit. This will run concurrent with taking consideration all right, and the cause number ending in 9882. The court will sentence you to 20 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, plus credit for any time served at state hospital. And no contact with the complainant. And in cause number ending in 81, there's to be no contact with the complainant. And cause number 83, court will follow your agreement, 20 years in the prison, credit for any time served, credit for any time served at the state hospital. I'll request the therapeutic community mental health unit. This will run concurrent with going to move on to 9884. The court will sentence you to 20 years in the prison. There should be no contact with the complainants. Court is proceeding and the cause number ending in 9886. The court will sentence you to 20 years in the prison. Court is going to proceed in 9888. Court will sentence you to 20 years in the prison. All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. It's so easy, I understand, to become institutionalized when you're in the prison. Don't become institutionalized. And if you have issues with your medication, you need to let them know. And your sister is going to have to be the one to write to the prison if they aren't giving you a proper medication. I say prison is like when you have relatives who go see a doctor, they need somebody to advocate for them, advocate for their mental health, advocate, right? So she's going to have to advocate for you. I'm not allowed to advocate for you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, when you are released from prison, try to do better. You understand? And when you're released, if for some reason you can't find mental health treatment, if I'm still here, you can come back here and I will direct you, okay?
Thank you. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, good luck to you, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Judge, there were some dismissals.
I've signed them, so,
I just want to make sure he gets his copy.
oh,
of those.
the state has them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May Sarah be excused, Judge, from
Yes.
Zoom?
Thank you so much for coming in. You may be
Thank
excused.
you. Thank you, Your Honor.